So, ladies and gentlemen, fanboys and girls, nerds, weeds, and otaku, welcome back and welcome home.
All the Apple Bites. This is your Apple Bite Written Writ. Ralph talking to you straight from our show here, the Written Writ. And we are here today with a plethora of people having fun, hanging out, and geeking out. Of course, my co-host today is Eddie. Hey, Eddie.
Good evening, everyone. Oh my gosh, look at this crowd. My goodness. Look at this. We're ready to rock.
We're ready to roll, too.
Yes, we are.
Dirk, why don't we get this started right away? Why don't you tell the people who you are, all the good stuff. Give them the spiel.
Hello, I'm Dirk Manning, the writer and creator of numerous comic books and graphic novels, including Nightmare World, Tales of Mystery, Love Stories About Death, Homestead Hope, The Adventures of Cthulhu Jr. and Friends, Twisted Haunted Highons, and most recently, and what we're talking about here today, the official graphic novel adaptation of the lost Lon Chaney classic, London After Midnight, with illustrator Joshua Ross, who's here with us as well. We're live on Kickstarter at LondonAfterMidnightComic.com. We're funded. We've unlocked the first stretch goal. We're moving towards the second stretch goal. And holy mackerel, we are bringing back a lost horror classic. And I'm just over the moon excited about it and beginning to work with Joshua on it and being funded. It's happening. It's real. And we're just super excited.
That's crazy. That's good.
I can see that Kickstarter is still having issues because I don't see any of your images.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Kickstarter, it's funny, like Kickstarter actually went down for maintenance like earlier today, so it's still kind of like half. And now, if you do the dangerous refresh, it does look like the images pop back up for me.
All right,
so you'll get to see some of Joshua's art and stuff like that on there.
Let's refresh. All right.
Yeah. That won't show you the video, but it'll show you the images, maybe.
No images.
But they'll be there. Yeah, they'll be there. They'll be there
in about half an hour, probably.
Yeah,
when the show's over. Yeah.
Oh, look, now the video's gone too.
That's all right.
I do think the maintenance was scheduled for 10:30, so I think it was like perfect timing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, of course.
But I can attest that this Kickstarter page is amazing. I can attest to it. I've been to it many a night, and it looks great. So hopefully it'll come up before the interview is over.
As have we all.
Yes.
People can just check out LondonAfterMidnightComic.com. Cool. When we're done talking here, right? You have an amazing array of guests and people. So when we're done, just check that out, LondonAfterMidnightComic.com, and you can see everything. You can see Joshua's art, and like I said, funded. We've unlocked for a stretch goal, and it's just really, really awesome to be able to be bringing this back to life. It's just with Chain Entertainment. It's super cool. Oh yeah, there you go. There's an example.
I can show some stuff off.
There you go.
There you go. Look,
I'll go to the Instagram.
Well, and it's funny because it's funny too because like not a lot of people know the name London After Midnight, and Joshua, I'll follow you on this in a second. But it's like a lot of people don't know the name per se, but then they see this image. That image you'll get on the screen, you know, the man in the beaver hat, the first vampire in American cinema, and they're like, "Oh, I know that," you know, and so getting to work on this property, which you could say has been a little bit of an influence on me, and it's not a coincidence. I've been doing this for 20 years, right?
I gotta
But,
say, when you explained it on one of your pages, I was like, aha!
But yeah, I mean, I think, and Joshua, you can correct me if you're wrong. Joshua Ross, the illustrator on the project, one of my longest term collaborators and friends. I think even when you and I talked, it was like, I don't remember if you I don't think you knew the name of the movie either, but like when you saw the image, you knew what it was.
I mean, the name I'd heard of it, but I really didn't know really anything about it. But yes, the image I've seen many times. I've seen magazines, tattoos.
Sure.
It's definitely a classic image.
Absolutely. Who created the image of the half illustration, half photograph? Was that what you did, Joshua, or is that
I
part
did
of the
do that?
original
Yeah.
lore? Man,
Yeah, they
that's just amazing, man.
Nice.
That is just worth.
Needed something for the New York Comic-Con preview book, and it was a way to kind of capture that classic image and still kind of say, hey, the comic book version is coming as well, you know.
Eddie's right. That is just like, wow, you know. Yeah, oh my God.
It's one of those things that you can remember even before the campaign. So now that I know this is connected to a campaign, it did its job, right? It's supposed to kind of have people retain it and remember it. And boy, do I. Man, that's an excellent job. Excellent.
That's the goal.
I think it even makes the book look even more classic.
Yeah.
Well, and it was tricky too, right? Because, you know, here we have Joshua Ross, who is this amazing, amazing illustrator and can do a million different things. There you go. There's the images right there on the page. And the back.
Oh, wow.
Right. I mean, you can see his art. I mean, and again,
wow.
You know, Joshua's, you know, the most prevalent artist that I worked with in Nightmare World. He co-launched Tales of Mystery Volume 1 with me, right? He did all of Volume 1 of that. He did stuff in Butts and Seats, the Tony Schiavone story. We've worked together a very long time. And Josh was an amazing illustrator. And we were talking about what to do for the cover, the idea of doing the split half photo, half image.
Right.
I felt bad because it's like this image right here, right? Like this famous image of when you first see the Man in the Beaver hat. I mean, he's incredible, but it's like I almost felt like we need to let people know that this is the actual movie now being turned into a comic, right? So it's like, hey, can you do half a drawing? You know, but to Joshua's credit, like you all said, unprompted, it's incredible, it's iconic. He nailed it.
Yeah.
It caught people's eyes. The whole Comic-Con, all New York, everybody that walked by, if anybody who recognized it, it was a double take all weekend long.
Yeah.
Dirk,
people like literally like stopping on their heels. Yeah, I'm not exaggerating.
I saw it when I was there. I was going to say, did you end up with books? Because, you know, you were going through them really quickly.
We got a couple left. We added those on as add-ons on the Kickstarter. Nice. I haven't looked to see if there's any left or not. But people could have gotten like we had a small, like maybe like 20, if that, 20 copies, I think it was, of the Ash Can that Joshua and then our editor, Drina Joe, who was also at New York Comic Con, signed that. And by the way, yeah, spoiler, I didn't even advertise that some of them won't be signed, but will be, we're put on as add-ons on the campaign so people could get those as well.
Nice.
Excellent.
I got to say, I love the panel and the illustration. I love the dark border, and I'm a big fan of that, by the way. So good job.
Excellent. Coloring's all Colin, you know, but it definitely brings it to life. It's got a very retro kind of classic feel when he kind of threw those grays on it. So
yeah,
I really like this a lot. I like what I see. I mean, I panel, so I'm actually like looking at this, and yeah, it's pretty good. Giving me some inspiration.
And the best pages are yet to come. Just wait.
Yeah. Right. It's like I'm being so careful in what I show off. Right. You know, it's like we only show 3 pages on the page, and it's like 100. And we're celebrating today. About 15 minutes before we went on the air, Joshua messaged me. He just uploaded the last pages to the whole book.
Ooh. Excellent, man. Congrats.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's all done. It's all done.
Here.
It's done. There's your exclusive. Yep. It is done. It is. Colin's going to color them up. And Colin's amazing. You know, Joshua has. And here's the thing. I look at Joshua's like line art pages. I'm already trying to think about, like, in the graphic novel, if we can show a couple uncolored pages, even just so you can see his line work. Because he's such an amazing, Joshua's line work is so amazing. But then when you look at what Colin Johnson does with the colors too, making it look, I mean, I feel like I'm looking at the black and white film, which is what we wanted to do.
I gotta say, this panel right here with the light actually lighting up the way it is,
yeah,
and fading, I'm like, whoa, that's amazing.
So, Joshua, did it take you a while to adapt that style, or was this something that you had from before?
It did, because honestly, a lot of the pages that are on the Kickstarter are some of the first pages I drew, because I had to do a handful of sample. You had to kind of go through Ron Chaney and get approval and everything, since this is a classic and licensed character. So yeah, there were a few pages that kind of got drawn in the middle to just kind of be like, make sure I'm getting likenesses correct and stuff. But yeah, I mean, like all books, it takes a little bit to kind of get to know the characters and get in your groove. Yep. But when you're drawing 140 plus pages, you eventually by the time you hit page 70, you're like, I got these characters, I know them, and all of a sudden they really start to come to life. But the story also really starts to pick up, so then that last third of the book is I don't know. I was very happy with the way it all came together. So
yeah. Awesome. You can see the look on my face. Like I said, having just seen the last pages tonight, right before we came online here, and oh my gosh, you just crushed it, man. I mean, I knew you would. Of course, I knew you would. I mean, there's no question of your amazing artistic ability, but it just little nuance in some of the panels and just the way the character is holding, and like Joshua said, there's a lot going on in the third act of this. It's really paced like an old, pre-code mystery murder horror film, right?
Yeah, classic.
It starts slower, and then it picks up, and it picks up, and it picks up.
I miss that old pace, I feel like now people it's kind of lost on people. And it's funny that you're saying that this whole act, the way you did it, because I as we've been watching certain shows, like Agatha all along, everybody's like, oh my god, it was so stupid in the beginning. I'm like, no, it set it up. It set up what you were where they were going. It's a beautiful setup, and people go, it's a waste of time, and I'm like, no,
patience, let it build. It all comes around, right? But I felt bad for Joshua because, it's like I'm a notorious, and he'll be the first to tell you this, kind of like talking head guy a lot of times. And I'd like to think usually it comes together on the page. Like, again, Dave Lentz did the lettering on this and did a great job. But I told him, I said, this is going to be a different style of story because I'm adapting a screenplay that I have to really honor the pacing and stuff of the screenplay. And I'm like, there's a lot there's. I kept telling him, I said, it gets crazier as you go, I promise, but we just have to get through that setup stage in that first act, and like I'm sorry, but I said, it's worth it. It comes together. And again,
no, I mean, that back half definitely was a lot of fun. Once I kind of, again, once the story kind of hit its pace, because in the beginning, like, no spoilers, there's a couple time jumps, there's a few different things, you're trying to introducing new characters, you get some of these characters only show up for a couple pages here, a couple pages there, you're trying to get the hang of who they are. But yeah, once it kind of finds its stride, but then also kind of trying to draw, not necessarily in a retro style, but I definitely kind of tried to go in a looser, kind of sketchy, I don't know, to kind of capture a little bit of that old, not the EC comic type stuff, just kind of have a little vintage feel to it a little bit. So I didn't want it to be super clean.
Yeah, pulpy almost,
a little bit,
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. I'm obviously a fan, but man.
So you drew these directly from the movie, actually screenshots, or like the movie scenes, or
a few. I mean, there are definitely a lot of likenesses, and there are a handful of images. I mean, there was a certain aspect of like looking up who the actors were, so making sure like there's only so many images that exist of this film since it's this lost film. So I can only get so many angles and different things without feeling repetitive and stuff. So there's definitely a decent amount of reference on a few of the characters, but I was also given a certain amount of freedom to go, it is a lost film, do your version of it. As long as you're capturing that tone, it doesn't have to be the specific actor. Make it, make Hamlin your own person. So
that's the grand thing about this whole thing, is that it is a lost film. Most people have never seen the whole thing. we've seen screenshots, we've seen the cover, we've seen, and here's a chance to actually see the thing, for once.
You're right, Ralph. Yep.
And Hope Allison here is saying, I finally see a chance to directly congratulate Dirk's fantastic collaborator. Superb work, Josh.
Yes, yes. Thank you very, very much. Always
Long
appreciate it.
suffering and well earned.
And I'm a self-deprecating artist, but yes, thank you. I always appreciate it.
So I always ask every artist this. So tell me, what was the hardest panel to draw in this process? And unless you want, unless it's a spoiler in there or something.
No, there was a handful because there are definitely some like group scenes in there. So there's definitely a few where Dirk likes to write 9-panel pages, 6-panel, 9-panel pages, and then in a panel have 16 things happen in one panel. So it's like this guy's trying to talk and this guy's coming over here and then somebody's doing this. So there were 2 or 3 in there that were definitely the talking head panels. Those are easy. You just get an expression. But when you've got 4 people running in the room and one person's grabbing somebody else and you're doing like, somebody's coming through a doorway and, there are a few scenes in there that were like kind of group panels that are definitely tricky fitting everybody in there and telling the story at the same time. Yeah. Because it is that old classic film. So a lot of it is that silent movie where somebody's reacting to a couple different things happening at the same time.
Sure.
And for the record, I like to write 9-panel pages for Joshua. and you did this to yourself because this is like we see the brother here, because when we were doing Tales of History Volume 1, you started doing the Mignola thing where you started like adding panels into pages. And then when we did Bite the Apple for Tales of History Volume 1, and we did the 16-panel grid. I don't remember if I wrote it that way or if I think I did kind of like as a rib, because like, he would like add in panel, like which again makes the page look amazing. Don't get me wrong. So I did like
in this book too.
Yeah. So 16-panel grid, and it just crushed it. And I'm like, okay. So when I know I'm writing for Joshua, it's like I can get away with it, and he rocks it, and he does so well. It's heavy is the head that wears the crown, Joshua. Is what
yes.
So he's telling us it's your fault, Joshua. It's your fault for being so.
Sometimes, yes.
There you go.
I mean, I do, if it's a pacing thing, sometimes I do add an extra panel. I did it in this one a couple times,
right.
Just a close up or something. It's not. I don't want to do 9-panel full group pages all the time, but yes, I think sometimes I'll have a 4 or 5-panel page, and yes, I will throw an extra panel or 2 in there, or an overlapping panel, because it just kind of helps with the pacing or emphasizes a moment.
It does.
Yeah, and Joshua, he did his own full graphic novel that he wrote himself as well, Left Turns, which his first freaking book. It's a review in Publishers Weekly. I've been doing this 2 decades and I've yet to his first freaking book. It's like a creative nonfiction, like kind of a book about like life and the arts and stuff. Turns around, oh yeah, I got my review in Publishers Weekly. I'm like, okay, congratulations.
Currently on Kindle, still selling copies. Somebody reads it. Check my numbers every day. Somebody's reading it every single day.
Nice. Jeffrey Brown, big fan and stuff like that, right? And all that,
Awesome. Man.
Yeah, like break my pencil and just throw it across the room. but point being, you know the form, man, and that's it. And we have a good enough working relationship. I don't question it. If you want to put a panel in, I'm like, okay, right on. You know what you're doing. He just makes me look better. It makes me look like I know what I'm doing.
And if it doesn't work, you tell me to take it out. I'll take it out. So.
Yeah. It just draws like a frog or something in there. Right.
I think it's one of those moments where I know people always say, oh, it's the same thing. A script and a comic script is the same thing. But I feel like this is showcasing that it's not. It's not the same thing. It's a whole different thing. And if you give somebody a script, especially an artist, they got to figure out a lot of stuff if you don't tell them a lot of stuff.
I mean, that's as an artist, that's some of my favorite stuff. I almost I mean, Dirk always writes something that has a panel count. This is page, he writes every single panel.
Mhm.
And I try to follow it as much as possible because I don't want to deviate from his story too much. And I don't want other creative people, colorists, letterists, whatever, letters and stuff kind of being like, I don't know what this guy's doing, but but at the same time, yes, Dirk and I have been working for 21 years together. So at this point, I think we both trust each other pretty well to kind of just go, do your thing. It's going to work, trust the process. And
my big thing is, and this goes back to the earliest days of us working together. This is how I see it. But if you see something different, let me know. And back in the day, it was let me know. Now it's like, here's how I see it. The big irony here too in all of this is that, and I got to be real careful here. London After Midnight, the official graphic novel adaptation, is on Kickstarter right now. We just said that Joshua just finished the last pages today. Although I had an idea, we talk about extra panels, like this cool extra page we could maybe put in, but I'll talk about that off the air. But just thinking about it, just like, again, that's what it's like when you work together so long. It's like, oh, it'd be cool if Joshua drew this. But anyway, the irony in all of this is that he did Left Turns. Amazing. Like I said, it's on Kindle right now, on Amazon, still getting read. Publisher Weekly's review. Really, really amazing book. Throughout all this, we have another graphic novel. How long is this one? Like that one, 120?
I think that was like the next one's was like right at 125, right about that.
Yeah, 120, 125. We have another 100, let's call it 120 page graphic novel. It might be 125 page graphic novel done in the can, with another major force in horror that we can't announce until January 1st.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So not only is this the first time in my career where I'm doing two books back to back that are not solely, like creator owned or co-creator owned.
Right.
But Joshua and I are doing two graphic novels back to back on the tail of his graphic novel that he wrote and illustrated himself.
Nice.
It's what a wild ride. It only took us 21 years, but
I mean, I've drawn more pages for you in the last 2 years than I have in the last 20 years prior to that.
Wow.
That's
Probably close
crazy.
to
I
it.
didn't think about that.
I'd have to do the math, but close to it. Like it's a.
I know. I'm trying to think. Well, what did we do? 9 Nightmare World stories together?
Yeah, and then I guess with Mr. Reed, but still
9 times 8 would be 72, and then they each had a cover, so that's another like 80, 81. And then Tales of Mystery Volume 1 was 8 times 13. Hold on. Let me get a calculator. But I'm being pretty close.
But yes, with a 125 page story and 140 plus pages, yes, that is more. That's going to be at least a little bit more.
Because Mystery was 100, we'll say 104, plus we did 8 in butts and seats. I'm doing the math right now. Plus 70.
Now everybody is falling asleep.
Right, I know.
Let's talk amongst yourselves. Math tonight.
Stay focused on the page count.
Well, one or two other things we did that didn't go all the way to publication, but let's call it published work before these two graphic novels. Yeah, it was 192.
Oof.
Wow.
So let's say 200 pages when you count covers or miscellaneous stuff. But yeah, then on this, we've done almost 300 pages, close to, between these two books.
Close to.
Wow.
Can you
The
give
other
us
one
a
is
hint
completely
of the...
drawn. The other one's already drawn too.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Can you give us a hint of the next character?
Dirk.
Right.
Um,
Give us a hint. Is it Is it around the same era? How about that? Is it around
No.
the same?
No.
No. Okay. All right.
No.
There you go.
no.
something spooky. It's a mystery.
Okay.
In fact, I would say
Creepy.
it's the
Kooky.
exact opposite. This one's very, very, very modern.
Whoa.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
I was going to say Bela Lugosi or something, but okay.
Well, no, that's a fair hint, right? I mean, I'm
Okay.
not giving it.
No, you're not giving it away, but that's a fair hint. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see Joshua like, well,
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
there's a very modern aspect to
Okay.
what we're doing on the book that's being announced in January.
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
We all have almost, blown it so many times by giving things away. We shouldn't.
All right, we'll change the subject.
Yeah.
That's because you're excited about the project.
Yeah.
Oh, do it. When you all see what Josh was doing on that book, it's, I don't want to say final form because I think we still have so much more to do. But when oh gosh, I have to be so careful what I say here.
Are we supposed to be hyping London After Midnight?
Yeah, let's just talk about London After Midnight. So London After Midnight is really amazing. And but between these next two graphic novels and then Left Turns, there's so much great Joshua Ross stuff out there right now. We're in a embarrassment of riches with, I think, one of the best living comic book artists in the industry right now.
Well, here's a good segue. If you reach the 12,000 mark, you get a signature from Joshua Ross.
Yeah.
Nice.
I need one of those.
Yeah.
I knew Jordan was going to jump in. He goes, "Come on, let's get it there."
Yeah.
I mean, it's
It'll hit it soon. We're getting close.
yeah.
Oh, you guys are pretty close.
Well, yeah, and like I said, the last couple of days have been kind of there's been a lot going on, right? Been a lot going on the last couple of days, so we'll be getting back to that.
Yeah.
We and like I said, we've gotten over $11,000 showing off 3 pages of the graph of 140-page graphic
amazing.
novel.
That says a lot. But those are some really nice 3 pages.
He's one of the best in the world, right? Point blank.
And
Hope Allison put it in the comments herself. He's one of the best. I mean, they're
I mean, if you
this
think about it,
Ron Cheney made this hype video is so cool.
yeah, that's what I was looking at. I was like, whoa. When I saw this thing pop up on my feed, I was like, what's this?
Yeah, you can. I don't know if it'll play it or not up there. Not. I know it's on my YouTube.
Let's find out. Let's go to the videotape. Whoa. Wrong videotape. Okay. I knew my computer was going to do something over here.
Oh, nice.
I can't believe I found the lost treasure.
That's nice.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, you gave me an idea for a promo. I'm gonna do with my character. Thank you very much. And I'm gonna make sure that I send it to you because you just gave me a great thank you. That was great. I'm gonna do something like that. Something cool. But I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you guys. Continue on.
No.
I just got like a lightning bolt of inspiration just watching that clip. I swear.
I mean, it's a cool
I
promo.
hear you, Mike. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be good. I like that. So,
And that's Ron Cheney dressed up as the Man in the Beaver hat
Wow.
in that video.
He looks so much like, yeah.
I was on a call with him when he actually got the video, and he's like, "Oh, hold on, I just got something," and then he just started like laughing.
yeah,
He's like, I was just like, I was like, oh my God, whatever he has must be amazing. And he goes, I can't wait for you to see this. And then he sent it to me later, and I did the same thing. I started dying, but yeah, it's cool. And yeah, these are the pledge levels and stuff we have. We have really, really cool pledge levels on this.
Well, I'm definitely send me your stuff if you're on IG and stuff. I'm definitely gonna be putting out for a pledge today. I'm always supporting, and this looks amazing. So yeah, put me in. I'm in, definitely.
Thank you. Yeah, LondonAfterMidnightComic.com will take you right to the Kickstarter page. And again, this is the only way to get the Kickstarter exclusive hardcover edition of the book. We are making.
I like that leather edition. You're making a leather book. Oh, you see, I gotta talk to you, man.
Yeah.
Like these are my future ideas I got when my company becomes, because I want to start making I was thinking about making. I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to cut you guys off. It's just I'm reading this stuff and I'm getting inspired because these are the ideas I had. Because as I'm going along my story, I'm gonna make a graphic novel with all the writing I do. But yeah, I always was thinking about doing like a leather-bound edition, something that was classy, that looked a little rustic with like some real old-looking paper. I just wanted to make it look like an old, dirty book, but it's a high-end collectible. That's what I'm talking about doing. But I'm sorry, guys. Continue. I'm gonna shut up.
No, I'm with you, man.
I've been actually silent like this whole time. It's like I usually be blabbering. If you guys know me, normally I would be blabbering the whole time. But yeah, I'm sorry. Continue.
No, I'll tell you. But you made the point. Book people like the thing.
Exactly.
Like Jordan's got almost my whole library. He can tell you. It's like we we like holding the thing in our hand.
Oh,
and
yeah.
and big kudos to Ron Chaney on this. If you scroll down a little bit more, he let me get away with what is the most ridiculous "give me everything" pledge ever. Yeah, right there.
There you go.
So for $100 free U.S. shipping, you get the Kickstarter exclusive leather-bound hardcover. You get the trade paperback version. That's going to be the mass market edition. You get a digital version, the digital version of the book. You get the commemorative collector's coin that's Kickstarter exclusive, and you get the shirt with the Joshua Ross, Lon Chaney photograph split art, which is also Kickstarter exclusive. So you get 5 items, $100 for U.S. shipping.
Mm-hmm. $100.
When you break it down that way, it's like $20 a piece. And you start doing the math on what that comes down to. It's like it's just ridiculous. It's like
that is a ridiculous price.
This is why my publisher hates me, because like you just give everything away. I'm like, I don't care. That's not what it's about. It's not about making money to me. You know, it's like it's about giving people access to all the cool stuff, because this is a legendary property. We're super excited to be bringing it back. We want people to experience it, and we want it that the people that back the Kickstarter will get the highest amount of stuff for the best value. Yeah, you can chat with Chaney if you want, talk to him, and that comes with everything in the Give Me Everything, and you get to talk to him too. It's really our honor to be able to do this, and people can check it out at londoneverymidnightcomic.com. So.
That's awesome.
So tell me something, Dirk. How is it dealing with the Chaney family? Like, this is such a precious thing to them, you know, and everything that you're showing them in the panels, like obviously this is more than just, you know, some kind of IP for them. This is their family legacy, right?
Right.
So, did you ever feel that, like dealing with them, the pressure of that or the stress of that?
Oh my gosh. When I held the script in my hand for the first time, which is what is the original script, and you can find the original script online. It was a silent film, right?
Right.
So it's like just like picture. Chaney Entertainment, Ron Chaney went back and then kind of adapted the original, I say script, but screenplay, the original screenplay for a potential talkie version, right, with dialogue.
Okay.
Then when I held that in my hand, no exaggeration, I like quivered.
Of course,
because not only is this such a legendary thing, and I'm a huge horror guy, and I've been waiting for him forever to find a copy of this, but also it was like, and I don't feel this way too much at this point in my career, but I'm like, don't screw this up.
Yeah,
of course.
You know, because at any moment to me, it was like Chaney could say, you know, you're just not hitting the mark on this.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
and then when it came time to look to Joshua to illustrate this, I felt so bad because we've worked together 21 years, and I'm like, hey, buddy, you mind doing a couple sample pages?
right.
Yeah, I get it. I was cool. It worked for you.
Yeah. He's like, well, you stick it up your ass, but no. You know, but I told him, but again, Ron Chaney's been amazing. He is absolutely such a great guy. He's so gracious. He's kind. He's excited about the project. He sees what we're doing to honor this, to bring it back. And again, and I'm saying that I would say this whether you were here or not, Josh. When you're looking at pages by Joshua Ross for this, it's impossible not to say okay. And it's impossible not to love what he's doing with it.
Right.
And that was it. When Ron Chaney looked at the pages, he was all in. He's like, this guy, he goes, he gets it. I said,
and I agree, it paid off. I think you added to the legacy, you know,
Yeah.
and I think it speaks. So the best to you guys. Excellent work.
We appreciate you, man. Thank you. I know we're at about time here. I apologize, but
well, no, it's your time right now, so
yeah, I know. Well, we'll give the last words to Joshua. I talked too much already. So.
Check it out.
Those are great words, Joshua.
Yep, there you go.
Boom.
I've made it easy for you guys. I've put the link in the comment section, so you don't have to go, Ralph, we're lazy. We don't want to go look for the link. The link's right there. It's in the comment section. You know you want this book. You know you want a nice leather hardcover, dude. And I have to tell you, I have a lot of Dirk Manning's beautiful leather hardcover books, and these things are amazing. And if this thing goes like it usually goes, you're gonna get way more for your buck, because usually, if you buy the leather bound, you end up getting all those stretch goals.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah,
Excellent.
that's the plan. Like I said, I mean, my signature is fine, but to get Joshua to sign it, then to get Ron Chaney to sign it,
Yeah.
and then we have some cool other potential upgrades to the book, like we do and stuff.
Mhm.
But the big thing is, honestly, we're bringing it back, and
Yeah.
then back in the Kickstarter, you're going to be part of history. You're going to get this limited edition, leather-bound hardcover edition of the book. You'll be getting it before anybody else gets it in stores, on Amazon, whatever. And in the wise words of Joshua Rossi, was that check it out? Was that it?
It's,
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's a
Check it out.
legacy. It's a legacy project, 100 years in the making. So we
Yes.
brought
There
it
it
back
is.
to life. It's
So Dirk and
Very good,
Joshua,
very good.
tell the people where they can find you and all the good stuff. That way, they, other than this beautiful thing, which is over here in the comment section right now, they can go to your sites and go, hey, what's Dirk doing? What's Joshua doing?
you can. I mean, for myself, I don't really have much of a site. I've got an Instagram. You can go to ArtRona9. There you go.
There you
That'll
go.
see my artwork and if there's any updates. So ARTRONIN 9 at Yahoo. That's my email. What the ArtRona9. Everything's ArtRona9. You Google ArtRona9.
That's where you get your commissions.
That's everything. Everything's ArtRona9. And this comic book, LondonAfterMidnight.com.
LondonAfterMidnightComic.com. Yeah.
Yes, comic. Don't forget the comic.
The other one takes you to the band.
Yes.
But no, yeah. I too am. I'm trying to be inspired by Joshua and up my Instagram game a little bit. You can find me across pretty much all social media at Dirk Manning. Look for the guy in the top hat and the scarf. That guy right there who was inspired by that guy right there. DirkManning.com is my website. I have a newsletter. You can sign up there. You get a newsletter once a month.
Great newsletter. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
It's a direct letter from me to everybody else. No AI, no robots. It's just me writing a letter to everyone about, hey, here's what's going on. Here's where the next thing is. The only time I ever send more than one a month is if I launch a Kickstarter.
Yep.
Other than that, once a month, I just reach out and I stay in touch. And I would encourage everyone to sign up on that because we're not slaves to the algorithm that way. It's just a way for us to stay in touch and chat. So,
You also get way more information through that newsletter than you do with anything else.
Yeah.
yeah, well, I appreciate it. I'm trying to
he's very nice in that newsletter, and he gives you a lot of stuff that sometimes you don't find anywhere else.
Nice.
Well, that membership has its privileges.
There
Right?
you go.
So, but no, thank you guys for having us on to talk about LondonAfterMidnightComic.com. Joshua, thank you for jumping on last minute.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
As always, guys, you're always welcome back on the show. I know Dirk, I know Joshua, you guys got to go, but it was great having you guys on.
And
I think Jordan, did you have a last question? Yeah, go ahead.
well, it's not so much the last question, but you talked about me having your whole library. But since Josh is here, I don't know if you ever saw your post from 2 years ago now, but
yeah,
his illustration.
Look at that, brother.
Nice.
Probably only the second one in the world or something.
Not a lot.
I guess I've tattooed it a couple times now, but
right. Yeah, it's mystery's still rolling. He's that'll be next year. Right now it's about London After Midnight, then the mystery thing, which is yet again Joshua Ross's art leveling up yet again. So you're going to go from classic to modern, and that's all we're going to say for now. LondonAfterMidnightComic.com. Thank you, friends. We really appreciate you.
Anytime you want to come on, Dirk, you're more than welcome. You too, Josh.
I had one last tiny question. Here it goes. On the Kickstarter, it says Hell, Michigan. Did I get that right? Does it on the bottom, or is it a typo? Or
Yeah.
No, it's a real place.
Okay.
Where else would Dirk Manning hail from? Where else? It's like it's not like Blue Ball, Ohio, or anything like that.
Well, I've been there once.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, cool.
Exit 69, Big Beaver Road up in Michigan. You just go there and go towards hell. So Google it. I'm not making that up. You can Google it. And on that note, be well, friends. Thanks, appreciate you guys.
I'm gonna get the hell out of here. I got it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna get the hell out of here. All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you guys. Thank you for your support, guys. Bye-bye.
Yes,
See ya.
good luck.
All right, folks, we are still having more show here, and Now we will go with Joe. So Joe, it is your turn to tell the people all the beautiful things. What's the spiel, Joe?
No, wait a minute. You're going to make me go after Dirk Manning? That's not fair at all. I feel like I brought a peanut butter and jelly sandwich to Hell's Kitchen competition, and Gordon Ramsay's going to walk in and be like, if this sandwich had sand in it, it might be better than what you brought.
So I'm gonna say this right off the bat, Joe. And your book caught my attention. And then I came after you to go get you on the show. And I've been trying to get you on the show now for a long time. So that says a lot already, folks. If I'm chasing somebody, I've already gone, I like this.
I appreciate it, man. It's been over 10 years since I've been chased. That's how long I've been married. And I apologize. My wife was going to join us tonight because she is, the head of our company. Because it's I was going to say you can either show the website or I do have the pre-launch page for Malia.
Oh yeah, you can. So. If you put that in the private chat, I'll show it.
Yeah, it's just maliamayhem.com. It'll take you straight to the Kickstarter. But yeah, so me and my wife are down here in Texas, and we actually used to own a comic and game shop here in our town for a couple of years before the pandemic.
Pandemic screwed that.
Yeah, thankfully we sold it a couple of years before that happened. So. At the time, it kind of sucked because I really enjoyed the shop, but it turned out to be a blessing in disguise because it would not have survived the pandemic. And but the little character that caught his attention is our mascot. Her name is Milia Mayhem, and she's actually based on my wife. My wife loves cosplay, tabletop, going to cons. Like that's her in the middle. And so this is essentially her as a little kid, and that was the inspiration for the company.
Nice. Okay.
My wife's last name is Childs, and so therefore we came up with the LLC is actually called Child's Play Games and Geekery, which was the name of the old shop. And cool. And then after we sold the shop, we were like, well, we got to keep the name and everything. We just basically sold all the inventory. And so we're like, well, do we want to do anything else with this character? Because at the time, I actually had an artist friend of mine do just a one-page origin story for her that used to be up in the shop, and people would always be like, well, are you ever going to do an actual comic? And I'm like, well, that's the plan, but it just never came to fruition. And you would think, running a comic shop at some point that conversation would happen, but it never really did. I was just too busy back then. Learning how to sell other people's comics and trying to keep the business going. So that never came up. So fast forward, 2020, she's pregnant with our son. We're pretty much homebound because of the pandemic. A friend of mine from college reached out and wanted to do, a comic. And so we did our first one just kind of on our own. Sold it to just family and friends, and kind of proved to ourselves that we could do it. And so after that, my wife and I seriously started pursuing getting a comic done for Malia. And last year, we finally were able to get issue 0 out just on our own. We actually didn't take it to Kickstarter because we were still kind of testing it out. But I found a really good artist. She's from Chile. Her name is Carla Diaz.
Oh, that's
and
really nice.
She's got a very cool like anime style.
Yes, she's badass. That is really nice.
God.
And that's what we always wanted for the character.
And that's what caught my attention.
So yeah, so we were just kind of I've always gone to cons in one form or another. I've been an attendee, I've been a panelist, I've been helping run them, and then of course doing the store as a retailer, and now in Artist Alley, trying to sell our own books. So we were like, well, let's just kind of test it at our local cons and see how it goes. And my wife's a teacher, so it was very important to her for all our stuff to be either all ages or teen. And so Malia's an all ages book, and she's been a big hit with kids and parents. just about every show we go to. She's definitely our top seller. And mind you, like I said, right now we only have the 0 issue. Issue 1 is actually complete. It just needs to be lettered. And it's just because of the timing at the end of the year. I was like, well, let's just kind of take, of course, these last 2 months of the year to kind of just gather ourselves. As you can see, I've had this pre-launch page up since February because it was going to originally get a summer release, but unfortunately,
dude, I gotta say, I know you had it up for a while, but that's a lot of followers.
No, well, thank you. Yeah, I try to stay active in the different groups, the different indie groups that I found online as much as I can. And, a lot of that is people that I've either connected with or, just sharing their projects, kind of.
And you're doing a good job, because that's exactly where I found you, was one of those indie groups. And I was like, okay, follow the rabbit hole. Follow the rabbit hole.
Well, good. That means Carla's art is working, because that was the reason that we went for it. She had actually done a mini series for Dark Horse Comics for Adam Warren's Empowered. I don't know if you've ever read that one. Oh
yeah. Okay.
And it was just a 3-issue mini series. It was called Soldier of Love. And It just so happened that I found it on DeviantArt. I found some of her sequential pages and fell in love with that style that she has. And yeah, we were just like, we've got to, especially after having so much success with the 0 issue, we're like, we've got to hire you to do issue 1. So
yeah, I know the feeling with that. I have a similar story. We'll get to that, but yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, yeah, so it's just her mother actually passed away in the summer, so we had to kind of give her some time to herself, and we were like, don't stress about the book. Thankfully for us, this is just part-time. It's not like there's people chomping at the bit, waiting for the issue, other than some friends and family. But
I gotta say, Joe, sometimes that's the way to go, because I've been working on my book for like a while now, and I'm going at my own pace, and I'm like, it'll get there when it gets there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she works really fast. I mean, once she kind of came back into the fold, I mean, she was able to knock out, it's going to be a 22-page issue, and she was able to do it in less than 2 months. So I mean, wow, she's really fast. Yeah. And but yeah, this is literally our other baby. I say, because we have a son, and I'm like, this is technically our daughter. So
I gotta say, when I've been looking at the pictures of you at the conventions, I like seeing the picture when your kids with you guys.
Oh yes. Yeah, thankfully, I mean, he just turned 4. He's at that age to where, I told my wife, I'm like, we're gonna, this has always been part of mine and my wife's world. We've always existed in pop culture one way or the other. And I'm like, we're gonna bring him into that. Hopefully he'll like it going into adulthood. We'll see how he is when he gets to be a teenager, if he rebels against it all. But for me, that's just part of my world, and so it's nice right now that I can take him and he can have fun, and enjoy it while we're promoting it. And it's so funny because he knows this character because he always sees me working on it on the computer. And so it's like he's gonna grow up seeing this character as part of his life. So it's kind of cool.
I can't wait till you tell him, this is your mom.
I know, right? Weird story. Funny story, but
I think that'll get him even more. You'll be like, what?
Yeah, I'm definitely, I mean, I'm a kid I always tell people I'm a child of the 80s. I'm a teenager of the 90s and an adult of the 21st century. Hashtag God help me, but that's a lot of the influence that I put into this. 2 of the biggest, and I'll get into the pitch in a minute, but 2 of the biggest influences of this are the Never Ending Story was definitely a big influence of this.
I can see it.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah.
And also the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon from the 80s.
I can see that.
Yeah, because the pitch for her is that she goes to a Comic-Con, she finds a magical D20 that teleports her to a world that basically any tabletop game she has played comes to life, right?
Nice.
And so she's got this mischievous troll creature that's literally just trying to see all the candy in that world. And so every time she's in one of the worlds, she has to adhere to the rules of that game. So like in issue 0, she goes to a D&D inspired world. So that's pretty easy, because D&D, there's fighting and there's mechanics and stuff. But like in issue 1, we purposely took her to a world where there is no fighting. So that way she has to figure out a different way to stop the troll.
I love that.
So yeah, it was just a cool idea to have a lot of different playgrounds to play in. And I mean, we literally, I know you guys can't see it, but on either side of me is 2 big cabinets of board games. And so it's like my wife and I will just go grab some and be like, what story should we do next? Or, and it pretty much the genres will speak for themselves at that point.
Nice.
Right?
I like that. See, what a great idea. I like that. Where you couldn't draw from inspiration and you found your inspiration. That's awesome.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like for issue 1, we literally, I mean, I can tell you it's based on the board game Catan. And so again, during the pandemic, I was like,
I piqued my interest.
Yeah, I was like, we don't have it, so just get it off Amazon. Let's play a round of it. And as soon as I did, I was like taking notes. I'm like, not doing a direct adaptation, obviously, but trying to make it make sense based on the game so people can figure it out. So
yes,
that's really good because you might get some really like built-in audiences already. For example, someone for that game, they connected with this comic, like, okay, I got to read this comic because that's my board game. I got to really see. So it's kind of cool.
Yes,
you have a different mark for every story that you do. That's really cool.
Oh yeah, well right now, just going to the cons, I don't have it with me, but one of my friends got me a little foam D20 to keep on the table, and of course, first thing kids are like, "What is that? What's that for?"
Roll it.
I'm like, yeah, that's what I tell them. Just roll it. Just see what you get. And then
I love that.
when I'm flipping through the book, and I usually get to this page, and I'm kind of pitching it to them, and they see the dragon, they're like, "Oh my god!"
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
see, I'm trying to get like, you guys do great paneling, by the way. I love your paneling style.
Cool.
Oh, that was her paneling. Oh, so my question is, this artist doing the paneling as well?
Well, actually, that's kind of both of us because I just have always naturally laid out the panels for my friend who's an artist,
right?
And so I did it with her, and it was funny because she was the first person outside of friends that I'd worked with. I was like, it's okay that I lay out these panels, right? She's like, oh yeah, it'll make it faster for me because I don't have to figure it out.
Yeah.
And so, so everything here, like all the squares, I just lay them out blank. And then unless I have a specific thing that I want her to draw, I might put a reference in there. I actually, for a future action book that I want to get her help on, I actually just got one of those little posable figures.
That's a great idea right there.
Yeah, that I'm just literally going to snap pictures and then just copy and paste it into the panel and be like, okay, I need you to make the character do this, basically.
It's so funny that you're saying that because as like a same thing as Dirk was saying, you saw the relationship between him and Josh. The relationship between the writer and the artist is really important. I find that most people who are looking to get an artist for their book, and they're just looking for an artist. No, what you're supposed to do is look for an artist that fits your book. Look for an artist that has that you can see yourself having a good relationship with. That's really important. And it's so funny. It's so funny. I was gonna say it's so funny that all that's there because Dirk Manning has a book on writing comics called Right or Wrong. And he talks about this specific thing in that book, that the relationship between the artist and the writer is really important. Well, your team and you is an important thing to have, and you don't just jump into it. You create it, you make it happen. Not every artist can do your book.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, I agree with that. Especially styles. Styles is the most important. What you were saying earlier, which I agree with. Style is the most important as well, because when I was doing my book, that's what happened. Like, it's just like I found an artist that like my style was very unique, and he just got it immediately, and that's very good to have. I got actual lucky with what I have. But I'm sorry, I keep blabbing. See,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, you're
worries.
fine. I mean, I figure that's what this is for. To
I get so
discuss,
excited about it.
Yeah.
You guys
But,
got me all
We get
hyper.
to geek out and talk about things.
Yeah.
Believe me, I've been suppressing it. Yeah, it's all good though, but I love this. I'm actually gonna. So the zero's out now. I want to get your zero definitely. I'm gonna get all your info. Everything's in the links. He's gonna give me all your info at the end. I want this book. I really want it. So,
Thanks. I appreciate that.
I mean, like, because for me anyway, as a creator and a comic book fanatic, I love inspiration from all genres, and that was the first time I ever heard someone ever say that they made a book based on board games. You gotta do a Monopoly book. There you go.
There you go. That's a good idea, Mike.
Okay.
And then just
don't worry,
like
you don't have to mention me in the book or anything. Just a Monopoly book. I would love to see that as a like you'll have to use our powers of greed to knock the troll down
there you go.
by charging him too much rent and getting him evicted. See, there you go. I already have up to for you and everything. So
I like that, Mike.
yeah,
Take him out of the boardwalk.
That's a good idea.
You know, the funny thing is you bring up Monopoly, but that's the funny thing. Having a specialty game store, that was kind of like one of the anti games. It's like, because if people would be like, if you say I have a game store, like, oh, you mean like Monopoly? No, not like Monopoly. Like the only time that I ever carried any kind of Monopoly was like somebody wanted like a Legend of Zelda Monopoly, and I'm like, okay, I'll special order that for you, but you know. But yeah, that was definitely a joke in the store, and then people, because a lot of people just didn't get it. They're like, well, what is it then if it's not Monopoly and you know, some of these classic games? And I'm like, well, come to the store and find out.
How much time do you have?
Yeah.
It reminds me, whenever you go to like a guitar store, they always have that big sign, "Don't play Stairway to Heaven," you know. That's what typically people think of with guitars. The same with you. Don't talk about Monopoly in the store. Yeah, I love it, Joe. That's good.
Yeah, and you know the funny thing about Kickstarter is that I had originally learned about it because it says on my profile that I've been on it for like 12 years, which is kind of true. I mean, I backed my first Kickstarter 12 years ago, but because of a friend of mine had a Kickstarter for her music. But after that, there was a few like comics, like I just started dabbling. But then once me and my wife had the store, we did have a few board game creators that were local, of course, that come demo their game in the store, and then we would promote their Kickstarter. So that's where I kind of really started to learn about Kickstarter, and then we still do back board games, and not as much as we used to, but now, of course, if you look at my profile, you know, it's all indie comics, you know, now with a few, you know, collections from some of the bigger people. I mean, like I said, I'm a teenager of the 90s, so every time they do like an old Image collection or something, I got to get it. But yeah, it's been interesting to learn. I mean, last year I think I sent you this one in PDF form. This was the one that we took to Kickstarter, and Carla, you can tell, did that cover.
Beautiful.
But it's a compilation of the different books that we've had our hands on. So there's
I was about to ask you about that because you have other books.
Yeah, well, two of my best friends from college, they both have books in here. The character here in the middle is from a book called How to Hunt a Hero, and then my friend who actually works in the video game industry, I guess you could say he kind of caught the fever from us, and he wanted to start putting his book in. So I told him, well, we'll do like an introducing type thing for you here. So we ended up with 4 stories through Child's Play, and then 1 through his, which is Dinosaur Comics.
Love it.
But yeah, so that was what we took the Kickstarter last year, just because it was easier to pull from shorter projects that we had and kind of put it all together rather than try to create something new. And yeah, this is our actual website that he's showing right now. When we had the store, we had Square to do our processing, our credit card processing. And then I saw that they give you a free website, and we never stopped using them. We've used them for over a decade now. Oh, wow. So I just was like, well, let's just throw the comics up on this free website that they give us.
Give me the link to this free website. Yeah. Oh my God, it's nice.
Yeah. Well, if you just type in childsplaycomics.com, it takes you to their site basically.
Yeah, I got to say, hey, listen, it's all good. What a great idea.
like those are some of my. One of my cousins got into making comics.
Nice.
This is really like a family and friends affair is what we have going on here.
I love that. I really like the fact that you're like, okay, let's get everybody involved.
Yeah. Glenn there is actually from a creator in Ireland. I found him on Kickstarter and we just hit it off, just talking back and forth. And I was like, will you let me carry your book here in the States? He's like, of course. So I sold out. I sold out of the first batch he sent me last year.
Oh,
I'm about halfway through this batch. Yeah, if you click on it,
some of my books to sell.
Right. Yeah, they have to be all ages 13 though if they're on our website. Just to let you know.
Oh, I'm sorry, my books are not qualified. But I do have an idea I would like to talk to you about off air. It is a child's comic though, and I'm going to send you the art later so we can talk about this. But I do have something that I think would fit this perfectly. So yeah, I actually do have something we could talk.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
man, this is a great show. I actually making connections here, and like I said, I'm seriously when I'm saying this. I have my daughter. She made a property. I'll talk about it real quick. It's called Panda Fairy, and she made this property when she was like 16 years old, or 15 actually. I copyrighted it for her back in the day. Cool. You know, right now she's sitting on the shelf. She doesn't really want to do nothing. You know, she's a woman now. She's doing her thing, doing her family stuff. But I told her, look, I'm gonna take care of this eventually, and I'm gonna do something with it. So yeah, I really want to do this, and I feel like Child's Play would be the perfect place for this. So if you have an Instagram, we're gonna exchange info. I'm gonna give you some of what I'm talking about, some of what her art looks like, and then you're gonna tell me what I already know. You're gonna be like, oh, this is gonna be perfect for this. And I write, of course, so we can always come up with something. But that's it. I'm sorry.
You're a good dad, Mike. No, you're a good dad, Mike. You take care of your daughter, man. You're a good dad. Man. That's cool.
No, I'm always up for talking. I mean, I actually did write a couple of issues for another local artist here last year. I did have to back off from it though, just because of time constraints. And as my son has gotten older and more mobile, it's like less and less time, you know. So, but yeah, it's just managing, you know, like I said, since this is part-time for us, you know, a lot of it is just, it gets put on the back burner and you're like, we can't stress about it. And, you know, and, you know, you just kind of go with it. But I mean, thankfully, my rule is we've got a con that happens here in April every year in town. And my role is I need at least one new project to show off at that con every year. So thankfully I got lucky with Malia Zero because the con had already happened and then I released it, and then so it came back around at the right time. But now coming in April, I'm like, no, I need Malia 1 done. Like it needs to be ready for that one.
I can see why you're getting ready to do the Kickstarter, because it'll be perfect to get it in and get it out and get it done. That way you have it ready for April. I love it.
Yeah, March is actually, it'll be the 11th year of our company, so I think around that time will be when people can pre-order it. So it'll be a nice kind of lineup, you know, with that anniversary.
Love it. And of course, folks, I've done it again. I put it in the comment section. I don't want to hear that. I'm lazy, Ralph. I'm not going to go looking for it. You don't have to go looking for it. It's in the comment section. Oh my God, you'd be amazed how many times I hear, "Oh my God, Ralph, I want the link. Oh, it's in the thing. No, I don't. No, right there. Comment.
click it.
Oh man. All right, Mike, it is your turn. Go for it. Tell the people who you are. Give them the spiel. Go for it.
All right. So I'm gonna talk to you guys like we're doing my show right now. Greetings, everyone, from the Spider Slayer, because this is what I have. I have a YouTube channel. I was a YouTuber. I have a YouTube channel called The Spider Slayer. And what happened was around a couple years ago, I'm going to say about 2 years ago, I was looking at my dog Einstein, and I just looked down at him. I was like, you know, I wonder what would Venom look like being attached to Einstein? And just something clicked in my head. That damn image would not leave my head. So I was working on art for the longest to try to come up with something that was kind of, I wanted to make a manga. So a manga comic. So I want to explain what that means, because when a lot of people say manga, they don't understand what that really means. When you see a manga character, the faces are not humanoid. They are animals. They're mostly like, they're dogs and cats, You got to look at them very carefully, though.
Yeah, good point.
You will miss it. Dragon Ball is a perfect example. Look at their side profile. Everyone from Goku to Vegeta, they all have the cat profile. You don't catch these things. But this is something that I was always interested in doing, to make a manga comic. Like, I was thinking to myself, I got to create a character that will have a look of an American comic, but when, I guess, people of the manga genre, the fans, would see that character, it would click. So I wanted to make something that would resonate with both the American comic book consumer and the manga consumer. And this is what I came up with. So when I designed this character, this is my original character, and this is what I came up with. And this is Einstein. So I made this using a bunch of digital art programs. I'm a digital artist as well. I'm not a great artist, but, this is why my prototype. And when I did that, that's what led to this book being created. And this is Symbiotic Book 1, The Book of Einstein. And this is the back cover. So what I did was I made this into a two-sided cover. And the thing about this book, I'll open it and show you guys, is that it's a manga comic. Now, what I mean by manga comic is that instead of the spine being traditionally on this side, no, look, the spine is to the right. So when you open the book up, you're opening it like that, but you're reading it like a standard comic. So you're still going to read it from left to right. So as you're opening the book, you're reading it from left to right, but the spine is to the right. So it's kind of like a backwards print. But this is also something I want to do for my company, as to give me a little, stand out niche. Like, yeah, look at this guy. He's got this comics printed to the right side, and I get that a lot. So I'll tell you what the comic's about real quick. So Symbiotic is pretty much a story of, like, the universe itself, the creation, the destruction of the universe. And in my story, what happens is there is in this story, there's we're in another form of a current form of this reality. That's how I started, because there could be other forms of reality, but in this current form of reality, what started the universe, our universe kicking off, was three fundamental elements born at the dawn of time, which was matter, antimatter, and dark matter. All that exploded, and then the dark matter is what the story is about. They're creatures that are called the Paramore, and what the Paramore are, they're just pretty much like dark matter entities that enter the bodies of living organisms, takes over their brains, and pretty much kills them, and takes that body over and uses that as this unwitted puppet. And the thing about the Paramore is that as they progress and take over, like, their hosts, they're going after other hosts and other life forms, and they're becoming stronger as they're coming along. And if you don't stop them, what happens eventually is that they will end life on whatever planet they're on. Their goal is pretty much to destroy life. So what happens is the main character here, which is Einstein, what happens with him is that Einstein, he's a professor of astronomy. He's also, a philanthropist. He does a lot of research. He's like a secluded researcher. He comes from a long line of great minds, and he was always seeking life in the cosmos because he knew that it existed. But what he found was worse. He found the Paramore. So in my story here, and this is the card I'm going over. This is an origin story I did. This is Symbiotic Einstein origin. I just showed this a minute ago. Okay, this has pages on it, actually, guys. I put 6 pages on this card. If you was to scan that, you could get the 6 pages on this card, and it tells a story. And the story is that when Einstein was trying to find these creatures, the Paramore, or he's just looking for aliens, they found him through a portal, and it tried to attack him, and it tried to take over his body. But what happened at the time was that Einstein has, like, there is a law I'm going to talk about in the comics. I'm calling it the potential. So just think of the potential like a mutant power, but not like everyone has the potential, but not everyone will be able to actually access their full potential. So it's like having a latent power within you, but you're just trying to figure out how to use it. So what happens is that Einstein has what I call he's like what I call an electron, meaning that his mind is supercharged with static electricity. this makes him the smartest man in the world because static flows through his brain, and he's able to control his brain waves using the static to the point that it makes his thought process so quick. He could think like 1,000 times quicker than a normal human and come up with computations and come up with all kinds of formulas. And so he's just like the world's smartest man and the world's quickest mind. When this paramour tries to enter him, one of their weaknesses is lightning. So he has the static electricity going through his mind. Right. So when it tries to take over his mind, it pretty much it withdraws. But while it's withdrawing, they're having like a memory swap. And it seems like Einstein retains a lot of the paramour's memory, its language, its formation.
Wow.
So, but he doesn't have the full picture. But he only has flashes, but enough to understand that they do have their own language, that what they actually are. That the paramour that did this just pretty much gone. He's looking for it for a couple of years, finds it years later. Now the paramour finds him, but the paramour doesn't remember what actually happened, but kind of remembers him. Right. So he befriends this alien, and they start to engage in exchange of information. Sure. And in the book, I say here, I don't mind showing this piece off, but this is like one of my favorite parts of the book because these things are normally supposed to kill you. So what I say in the book is that I pretty much have them in this part is when they make the pact that he tells them that, I know that my life as a normal person is about to come to an end, but I want to become something more, something symbiotic. So yes, I accept the bonding with you. So instead of the alien taking him over and killing him, he's a professor of symbiosis and explains to him what these creatures are. He says, what you are is death itself. You're death incarnate. So, but this paramour that doesn't have no memory says, but I don't want to kill. I don't want to preserve life. Because he doesn't remember what he was. So now he explains to him, so the way we could do this then is let's join together and become symbiotic. And once we become symbiotic, then our goal would be to find the others because there's 5 more loose right now. And so during the story, they get into I'll show you this big picture I did. Shout out to my boy Will Torres. And this will explain the next part of my story I'm talking about. Yeah. This machine that you see right there, and this is a homage cover too, that is called the atomizer. So what happens in the story is that I was telling you guys earlier about the potential, meaning that he knows he has a power within him. He's an electron, meaning he can control electricity, but he can't do it on his own. If he was to step in the atomizer in his current form, it would fry him down to the molecular level. But with the paramour in him now, because it's of dark matter, those electrons that would have killed him will be absorbed now by the paramour, causing them now to have an extraordinary humanoid alien fusion. And once they're fused, this is like the final form that he becomes. And so now from this point on, he's hunting now the other 5. So in the first comic, we're talking about how they start to after he gets out the atomizer, he starts to train and he starts to realize that now he can wield lightning with his hands, and he starts to come into his own with his powers. He starts to discover that he can achieve flight. And while he's doing all this, the first paramour is trying to take over our first character we're going after, because the way I set it up is that I'm gonna have Einstein go after each one of them, but now he's not trying to destroy them, he needs them.
Gotcha.
And I explain it all later on in the issues that come ahead. He needs them. So what he's trying to do, he's trying to stop them, but recruit them, but have them not take over their humans to become symbiotic the way he's become symbiotic. And he explains this to them as he's finding them. So in the first book right here, he goes after the first character, which his name is Faust. So
Mike, quick question.
I'm sorry.
Quick question, Mike. Yeah, that's right. So the paramour, is that when he tries to get into Einstein, right? Is that the first human that they find that they can't take over? And so that's why Einstein's important, right? So they're like, they never experienced that before. I get it. And so now Einstein's on a mission to find the other ones. Okay.
Right. So you see what happens is that in the story, this is they actually find Earth. This is the first time they find Earth, and one of the first people they find is Einstein. But I think what happened is that during the story, Einstein's experiment is what draws the portal open to the point that they come. Like, in other words, whatever he was doing with his computers caused a rift in space that caused the first one to come down. But once that happens, now the rest can see where he came from, and they all follow. So 6 of them got in, the portal closed, the other 5 left, and the first one tried to attack Einstein, and that's the one that got repelled and lost all his memory. So now the other 5 know of each other, and but they know that he lost his memory. So they're trying to convince their humans, the second one, which is Faust. So Faust is what is in the story a psychic. So Faust's backstory is when he was a young man, he was hearing voices all the time, and he thought he was just going insane. But what had happened was he was a psychic, or a psi, as I call him, and he didn't know that he was a psychic. So then years later, he discovered that that's what he was hearing was people's thoughts. So what happened was when he realized that he could hear people's thoughts and it was driving him crazy, he started to live in isolation and total seclusion. He went far away in the forest. He was just living totally alone, away from all human contact as much as he can. He lived secluded, but he kept hearing one voice from the void just calling out to him, and that was the second paramour. So now this paramour tries to do the same thing to him that it did to Einstein, but it's going to fail too, because this human is a psychic. So he has the ability to close his mind off. He knew what was happening.
Right.
But when you see the form, he gets like this because during this form, he's you see there's actually 2 heads there, and I'll explain what that's about. He closed his mind off, but he physically couldn't stop the paramour from entering his body, but he could still retain his mind. So it's like now they're struggling for control. So they make a pact with each other. He's telling him, we got to go hunt Einstein, but Faust knows of Einstein. Einstein is a world-renowned scientist, Professor Symbiosis, so he knows who he is. He says, well, we need to find him, but I don't want to hurt him. We need to find him so he can help us. Right. So the paramour agrees to work with him for now, and then pretty much in book 1, that's what's going on. They find each other and they have a huge battle. And then I won't say what happened at the end of that, but then I made book 2, and this is book 2, the Book of Faust. And that character right there that looks like he's being carried, that's Faust on the cover. And of course, I did do another homage cover, absolutely, because honestly, this was my inspiration for the entire story. I'm not even going to say, oh, what inspired you? Did Marvel anything inspire you? No. Symbiotic? No. But I'll just show you like some of the paneling I did in this book, because this book I'm actually very proud of, because I started learning and teaching myself the fine art of paneling. And I never did any research or, I just try to, I don't know. I'm one of these old school guys. I like to try to do things on my own. So look, check that out. Oh, cool. So, So this all that panel, all that weird ooze you see around the sides, that's the art from the book, from book 1. And what I did was I just pretty much, took it and I reshaped it and I repounded. This is one of my favorite ones too, right here.
I like the black paneling behind everything. I like how black dominates everything. Yeah. You can see the white panel.
You see
real
and
cool.
This is why, what you were saying earlier, it's true, because I wanted to have this dark style. I wanted to have something different. It looks like a comic, but if I put it in black and white, it'll be a manga. Yeah. And I'll show you one of my favorite shots. I did a 2.
Is that one in manga style too, Mike? Is that one that you also go backwards or no? Or is that was a forward one?
Well, I did make one. Okay, so let me just show you this real quick and I'll explain to you. So yeah, that's a double panel piece that explains a dream sequence in the story. Okay, so I did make this is a manga comic, meaning it opens like a manga. It's print, the spine's to the right, and then you read it like a regular comic from left to right. But I did actually make a manga variant, and that's this one here. And this one's a lot cheaper. I made it a lot cheaper because it's not made if you guys, because he saw my book in person, so you know. If you was to see this, like this is very high quality, everything. I don't mess around. When I make this, I wanted to make, you know, I mean, I wanted to make the highest quality I could, but I also wanted to make something that was affordable. So this one is just like, it's printed, and I'll show you the difference. This is actually the manga variant. This is actually printed like a manga. So when you open this one up, you're reading it like, you know, the spine is to the right, but you're reading it like a manga.
Yep. Like
from right to left. So this is the manga variant.
Cool.
The only difference is that if you was to go to page 20, and I can show you the difference between the both books. It doesn't mess up the book, but this paneling right here, those pages, they're backwards because you know it's in the manga style. Yep. Where this paneling, and I put it forward, you can see how the picture's complete. So that would be the only major difference in the whole book. But it doesn't spoil anything because even looking at it, pictured the way that it is, it's still, you know, it goes consistent. So in this book, real quick, oh, wait, and I'll show you. I also made this one, guys. Forgot about this one.
Wow.
I made, I'm going to take it out.
Nice,
I made a special foil cover.
Nice.
They're limited to only 100. I think I have about maybe 70 left, and check it out.
Wow.
And this is dope. Yeah, I'm very proud of this one. Oh, this is like one of my
That's
believe me when I tell you, if you like foils, you'll love this.
Yeah.
And this is, and I printed this like a manga. So this is a foil manga variant. It's made just like a manga, and it's a foil manga. And I think it's one of the most beautiful books
I think so too.
It is.
I
really
love it a lot.
and beautiful. It looks better in person.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, like, when we met that day, he saw my books, and I was really happy. Like, you know, like I appreciate all the adulates. I'm self-published. I never did any crowdfunding. I don't know how to do any of that yet. I mean, like, honestly, like, I just literally got to a point where I had an idea, and then I was like, you know what? Let me write the story. Writing was no problem. So on my first comic, I think I wrote 32 pages, and on this one, I wrote a whopping 38 pages, and that was after I took out 6 pages.
That doesn't mean you get more bang for your buck.
Good.
Yeah, but you know, you don't want to give it all away either. But it's all good though. For me, it's just I like to tell a story, and you know,
well, Mike,
just like I like to talk a lot, I like to write a lot.
Well, Mike, I tell you created a great universe, man.
Yeah.
Not only from the core story
I do
and all the different things you can follow. Yeah, and which is a great, but I really love the color scheme that you devised too, man. That like orange, red along, and how it pops off with the foil, man. That's really, really.
Thank you very much. I mean, like, this is something that I put a lot of thought into, and we're just beginning. I mean, I'm a very young company. I've only been out for a little over a year now.
Okay.
DoshiCon was the first con I did. I did a St. Anne's Comic Con. We're going to be doing another con in Brooklyn somewhere at the end of this month. So I'm just, you know, I'm just beginning, and I got to get out there and get the message out there and do more interviews. And this is what I'm saying, like, if you guys come check me out, symbioversecomics.com, I'm telling you, like, I have a lot of good stuff to offer. Oh, and also,
I want to get the set, no doubt, Mike. I want to get the set. Yeah, it's a very interesting story,
I also got, and check this out. I don't know if you guys can see this. So, all right, you can't see it perfect. So this right here is a Will Torres cover.
Yep.
And that is going to be a book that I've started again. Another book. It's called Symbiotic Einstein's Origins. It's exactly what this card would be, but I made it into comic form. And just to give you an example, that's what the last page will look like.
Nice.
Yeah. I'll also show you. So the back cover will have this exclusive Will Torres Einstein variant.
Did you create that logo, that the symbiotic text and everything?
Logo,
the logo? Yeah, the logo.
Okay, my artist and me created it. So I'll explain to you about the logo. Yeah. My artist, I told him I wanted him to make Symbioverse Comics CCC. Now in my corporation, the 3 C's stand for Comics, Clothing, and Collectibles. Yeah.
Cool,
so
great logo.
Hey, that could be on a t-shirt.
I explained to him. Yeah. Oh, it is. Trust me. Look,
they got
it right now. I got it on my jacket.
Yeah.
I have hoodies and everything. I have a website. I sell t-shirts. I have hoodies. But so he designed most of the of that, And I came up with the lettering of the comics. I like how he did the comics, and then together it just came out amazing. So yeah, badass logo.
Nice.
And I'll show you Will Torres's he has a comic coming out too. So in this one I'm making, it's called Symbiotic Einstein's Origin. It's gonna be about $5 comic. It's a floppy 6-page. It's an ash can, a one shot. I call it an origin story. So all my characters now, from now on going forward, will have their own origin story as well as their comic. And this is a project that Will Torres is working on, Saints of Assassin.
Yep.
You can see that. That's going to be in the comic as well. So I have that comic coming now. In fact, I gotta hit up the printer tomorrow and see where we're at with that. I'm gonna print about 150 by Christmas, and I'm gonna give 25 to my artist Waylon Weathers, and that's the artist who does my books, by the way. His name is Waylon Weathers, aka Wayway's Comics. He has an Instagram. Yeah, I just like, once I found this artist, like I wanted, like I said, the style I wanted was specific. I wanted it to be a combination of an American comic with the Japanese manga, that if from both sides of the pond, you're going to look at it and you're going to be like, oh, I get this, you know?
Right.
So yeah, I mean, that's all I can say without giving away the rest of the story. No. But I'm actively, I'll show you guys real quick. Would you like to see cover 3 for Symbiotic Book 3?
Oh,
and I'll even tell you, this is an exclusive because no one's seen this yet. No one. I'm premiering it here. I'm gonna, because this is gonna be based. Every cover that I make, by the way, you see how we have a Book of Faust? Like every cover is pretty much like the Book of. So part 1 is the Book of Einstein. This is part 2, the Book of Faust, and then the next character that comes in is going to be Book 3. Check it out. The Book of Titan the Synth.
Nice.
That is cool, man.
That is
cool. Is that Will Torres too? Will Torres too then?
No. Okay. This was my artist, Waylon Weathers, Wayway's Comics. He did this for me. Yes. It's gonna be sick. I have So yeah, I'm as of right now, this is like real quick for book 3 that I started working on. That is on page 2, I believe. Cool. Yeah. So we already got a couple pages done for book 3. Nice. And the way it looks, I should have book 3 done by the end of the year, but I'm not gonna print it until the beginning of next year because I'm gonna have the other comic coming out anyway. The one that has the Will Torres cover on it, the Symbiotic Einstein's Origins. That's gonna be a huge, huge book. I'm telling you guys, it's only gonna be 150, and I'm telling you right now, I'm giving 25 to Will Torres. Also, by the way, I just want to tell you about this with Will Torres. So what happened was, Will Torres and me are good friends. Oh, look at the back, by the way. Forgot to show you guys the back of this.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, I love this. So, me and Will Torres, we met like about a little over a year ago. We met in the St. Anne's Comic Con out in Staten Island, and wonderful guy. I mean, you know, I recognize him immediately. You know, I'm not a fanboy in the way that I know a lot of famous artists like David Nakayama. I know him; he's real good friends with me. And like sometimes I'll go to the cons with my friends. I'm like, "You want to meet David Nakayama?" And they look at me like, "What?" And it's so funny. Like I just do it every year. I have one of my friends that has a comic book company out here. His name is Patrick Hickey Jr. He's a voice actor. I know he was doing voice acting for the Five Nights at Freddy game. He was doing wrestling game. He was a Macho Man. He was a phone guy. That's who he was in the game. And but he also has his own company, Legacy Comics. And it was the coolest thing because, you know, he's like a couple booths down from David Nakayama. So I'm like, I was there at Comic Con. I didn't know you were there. I would have wished I knew you were there because I would have been looking for you, my man. But it was so busy. You could understand. Oh, my God. There's no way. You have to go for days.
Crazy. Me and Eddie was meet up. We didn't get to meet up.
Right now.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's just insane. Next year we ought to meet up, definitely. But it's so nuts. You guys understand. You've been there, so you know.
Of course.
I ain't even gotta explain it. It's just a haul. I was everywhere. So I was hanging out with my boy. He was signing like Funko Pops because he's the voice actor. And you know, I think they gave him like a couple $100 back in the day to do the voice acting. But now, like, he gets to sign Funko Pops and he doesn't even have to provide them. They just bring it and they pay him whatever amount for the signature.
You know, you want the voice actor to sign something for you.
Yeah, definitely. So he was walking. I'm standing right there watching this guy. He goes, look, he was upset at first because we didn't have nothing selling. I said, no, I bring you some luck, man. And then like 5 seconds later, some dude just came running out of nowhere. This is one of the guys that worked for the con, and he came with the Funko Pop. He said, I've been looking for you. Oh my God, here you are. Can you please sign this for me? And then I was about to leave. He goes, stay here for a few more minutes. And then like maybe another 5 minutes later, 4 more pops showed up. He didn't do anything the whole con. I was like his lucky charm. So then I told him afterwards, so he's geeking out. There's another artist that he likes. His name is Joe Doyle. And he did a cover for a book called The Deviant. It's a very famous book by Image. I had a copy on me. And I'm like, hey, you know, my boy Joe Doyle's here. You like The Deviant, right? He was looking at me like, what? I'm going to give this to you for an early Christmas gift. But wait, let me get it signed. Because whenever I see Joe Doyle, I'll just drop him a copy of my comic. And, you know, he'll do things for me. I do things for him. So he wanted to meet him, too. What was funny about that was literally they had a booth, right? And they had his stuff set up weird. The guy who was signed the Funko Pops, Patrick Hickey, you had to come around a whole bin to see him. So by the time I figured out who was who, like, now he likes this other kid Doyle, Joe Doyle. He's a big fan of his. They were literally sitting like right next to each other, but there was a curtain between them. So he was facing outward, and his back was facing front. So it was like they were right next to each other the whole time, and they didn't even know. Because by the time I found him, then I figured out where my boy was. Like, wait a minute. I'm opening the curtain, but he's already gone. I'm like, damn. Mm-hmm. So then I take him. I'm like, you want to meet David Nakayama? It was the funniest thing. Like, not funny, but it was great to watch somebody really like meet their idol. Like, this was like, I didn't realize like how important it was for this man to meet David Nakayama. But sitting back and watching it, he was like a kid. I'm like, come over here.
And you made that possible.
I love that. I was like, yo, come over here. Yeah. It's okay. He'll talk to you. It's okay. So David Nakayama sees me, and I do like, shout out to you, David Nakayama. Can't wait to see you again, because he sent me a nice message afterwards. He told me that he's very happy. He loves the book, how it came out, book 2. And he goes, not only did he find it inspirational, you know, I'm inspiring David Nakayama to actually want to do a comic one day.
That's amazing.
And he said, I'm trying to think of exactly what he said. I don't want to geek out and go back into the chat, but he pretty much said, I impressed him with the fact that I'm still going with everything, and I inspire him to do this for himself. He wants to do a comic one day. I said, don't worry, Symbioverse Comics is not going nowhere. I told him my best advice to him. I said, here's my best advice to you, my friend. Stay hustling. You are hot right now. You are on fire. Stay hustling. That's it. If you stay hustling, you're good to go.
I gotta say, Mike, you are a picture of that, because you said I wanted to do this and you did it.
Yeah, I mean, like, and that's what I got to be honest, guys. I mean, like, I met a lot of creators like that, like Patrick Hickey Jr. and Will Toys. I met them both on the same day, and like, what was funny was, like, for me, this was the most flattering thing that could have ever happened. I go to this con. I was covering it last year, the St. Anne's Comic Con. So I talked to the people who were running it. Now, I didn't know anybody for anybody. And I said, listen, I have a YouTube channel. I'd like to cover your event. They're like, yeah, sure, no problem. So I got to cover the event. So the first person I meet is Patrick Hickey Jr. And I'm walking in the door and I'm dressed like this. And he's looking at me. And he's looking at me like this. And he goes, you're Michael Birch from Symbioverse Comics. And I'm like,
that's always a great moment.
Like, no, but this is the first time I'm actually here. Like, understand, my book literally just dropped like maybe like 2-3 months ago. And I gotta be honest, I mean, like, the book, I actually was able to sell over 100 in like the first month. And I went to about another 50 in the second month, and then it slowed down, like, things will normally do. But I was just impressed in the fact that I just came out the gate and was just selling comics. So Patrick sees me and he's like, I know you. And then he's telling me how, because we live in New York. So it's Staten Island. I live in Staten Island. And there's comic book stores all over the place. So I have my book in Jim Henley's Universe. I have my book in Hypnotronic Comics. And he does, he knows them. And I guess he was doing his tour and he saw my book in Hypnotronic Comics. And then he goes to Jim Henley's Universe, sees my book there. And then he goes to another place in Brooklyn another friend of mine, shout out to you too, Hank, from Bulletproof Comics on No String. He goes there and sees my book selling there. So as far as he's concerned, he knows who I am because he's seen me in all of his and everybody that he knows. Like, we are actually rolling in the same circles. We just never met. So he breaks it down to me like that, and I start laughing.
I know all those stories. I know what you're talking about.
And so that was like that just made my day when that happened. I was like, get out of here. And then I discovered his catalog, and my God, this guy got so much stuff. I mean, like, I'll show a couple things off if you guys don't mind. But this is one of my favorite ones he did. This was like a variant cover. This one's called The Job, Dark Matches. And look at that. That auto cover. My God. So this book is about a guy, the guy on the bottom with that girl right there. Like, he's a loser wrestler, but he has a hot chick and a badass car and a lot of money. And you find out in the story what happens, and this is the job one. What happens is that you find out that these people are bank robbers, and that's how they make their money. So he made a wrestling comic based on a Bonnie and Clyde type bank robbers, but they're wrestlers. They're lucha libre wrestlers. Cool. But they go out and they do heists. So I saw that and I was like, yo, this guy's got some really cool stuff. And that's what I like. And I like meeting all you guys because this is how it is. I'm just gonna keep rolling and meeting people. I love it. I just feel love.
You gotta keep networking. You gotta keep moving.
Yeah,
forward.
And that's what it is too. Yep. And that's why this is like one of my I did a couple interviews, but this is my real first interview this year, and I gotta get on more. So I'm gonna be on more stuff, and I'll be forwarded to all of my followers out there.
You already got like a little plus on everybody else because you got your own show. That means you already have a platform that you can use to continue to push.
Yeah, and that's what I do. Like, if you go to my, of course. I mean, like, if you go to my page of Symbioverse Comics at the Spider's Lair, you'll see everything I do, and I incorporate. Like, this week, I'm actually going over a couple of homage covers that I had Waylon do for me. This was one of them right here. I had to make it back to Spidey, you know. Definitely. So yeah, this week this is what I'm covering on the channel. I'm going over 7 of those covers, and then what I usually do is I do like a 3-minute show on pretty much all of them, and then at the end of the week I'll just combine them all and put them into one mega show. And I have pretty big platform. I mean, not pretty big. I mean, I have over 3,000 subscribers, I guess. Like,
which is pretty good, you know.
But the views on my channel
is the point where that's almost impossible to do now.
Oh, you know that. You know it. Yeah. I mean, like, I'll be honest.
So, Mike, let the people know because because we need to know. They need to know where to find you. Where can they find you?
Sure. Okay, so I'm on Instagram under the Spider's Lair, and I could also be found on my website. I have my own store, my own website, symbioversecomics.com. You can sign up for our newsletter. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not like the first guy that was here. I'm horrible.
Nobody's like Dirk Manning.
He's making me feel bad now. I think I'm gonna have to update my newsletter.
Dude, man, he is just amazing. So.
No, I know.
Yeah,
I can tell by how he presents himself. Like,
definitely.
It's like breathing. It's nothing. I mean, I'll be honest. Writing for me
that's all just hard work.
Folks,
I put the link right into the comment section again. So I don't want to hear that whole I can't find it right there. Joe, tell the people one more time where they can find you.
For me, you can just go to childsplaycomics.com, and if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you can see all our socials.
Yep, and of course I put it there in the comment section as well. Eddie, tell the people what you're doing right now. That way I can show it, and you can all go check out Eddie's beautiful stuff.
Sure. Appreciate that. Yes, I am the creator of End of Zed. It's a story about a robot who crash lands in 1982 in the South Bronx. He has no memory. He's badly damaged, and he has to navigate through a really rough time in the city's history. Not only did they see the beginnings in 82 of the beginnings of the crack epidemic, but it also saw the positive side of hip hop and the hip hop culture. So he's got to go navigate through this kind of crazy time, and he will find his origin and eventually find his purpose. So been on Kickstarter, got 20 days to go. I got a crooked number there, 985. So I'm hoping to make that an even. I don't like crooked numbers, so hoping someone gives me 15.
If there was a 1 in front of that, it'll be 1985.
Oh, there you go. That's a good way of looking at it. Well, let's get to 1,000 first. So at least I get a 15 in there to make it 1,000, right?
Exactly.
So, but this is my first ever. This is my first ever Kickstarter.
Nice.
It's my first ever comic. This was originally a movie screenplay. Then I adapted it into a comic screenplay.
Nice.
And yes, I think you're really going to dig the story. I like calling it Wild Robot meets the Warriors. You know, the same kind of tempo and feeling that you have in it. This is what you would find there. So
I'm going to show you that tempo and feeling by playing the videotape because I love this video.
Nice.
My name is Eddie Lima, and I'm the creator of End of Zed, a project I've been working on for years. The story follows a robot who crash lands in the Bronx in 1982, severely damaged and with no memory, as he navigates one of the city's most turbulent times, shaped by the rise of the crack epidemic. He also discovers the powerful, positive force of hip-hop.
Where am I?
Party people, are we ready? 3, 2, 1.
End of Zed isn't just another comic. It fuses the rebellious energy of New York City with a gripping dystopian narrative. This story delivers visually striking action and powerful themes. If you're into bold, unapologetic storytelling, then the End of Zed is for you. By backing this project, you're not only helping bring Zed's story to life, but you'll gain access to exclusive rewards. I can't wait for all of you to experience Zed's world. Back my project today and become part of this amazing journey.
Love it, love it, love it.
Oh
Appreciate it, son. 20 days to
who
go.
did your animation? That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, Matt
Wow.
Seeger. Matt Seeger did my media on it. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Really cool.
That's
This looks like a
cool.
movie feel, right, Mike? It feels like a movie.
Yeah, I want that comic. I'm getting that one.
I appreciate it, Mike.
Definitely. I love the fact that he lost his memory. Yeah.
Yes, lost his
Now you
memory,
gotta
badly
figure it out.
damaged.
See, I love that.
And
I
it
love
touches
that.
a lot of those themes, Mike, about how, you know, programming is what it is. He comes here, he's got like no memory, like I said.
Yes.
And the only thing he has is a little computer on his, you know, like a CPU. And what it does is whatever he sees something, it kind of translates what he sees. So
Yeah, like
for example, he sees a human being who, unfortunately, in this case, is a drug addict, and it'll hover over the human being and say, "This is a human being," and you know they're the masters of this planet. They're the dominant species, and he's looking at it. Wait a minute, this is the dominant species. Look how he looks. And then he sees a drug deal go down, right? And he sees the computer go over the money and says, "This is currency. This is how humans trade goods." And
that's
then it goes over the crack veil. And on the crack veil, it's okay, this is how people get high and how they hallucinate, you know, how they go to a higher level. And so he says to himself, oh my gosh, how can a human do this to another human? So it deals a lot with programming, you know, a lot about how what we take in and then ultimately what we have to judge it from. So,
yeah, he's a clean slate, so he's learning everything.
that's it.
Great,
Exactly.
I like that. Yes, that's good.
And so he's badly damaged, and he gets a lot of his powers from the things he finds, you know, that in such a dark time, like for example, through hip hop music, he will heal his ears. You know, through graffiti, he will heal his vision, and then
that's dope.
He'll end up finding out that he's got an origin here, and he's got a purpose, and it's something. Yeah, so he ends up finding out he's got to make a decision about these humans and whether he likes them or not. He's going to see whether he helps them or not, or he's going to end up destroying them. You know, so
I'm grabbing all y'all stuff. I'm going to do a show on it and everything. This is dope.
Real quick,
I love that comic.
Joe?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Joe.
I gotta go, but
no problem, Joe.
I just got you to 990, Eddie.
Oh, thanks, Joe. Oh, man. Appreciate that, Joe. All right. Just $10 more, man. If I could hit that $1,000. No, Joe, I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You are welcome.
Wait, you need $10 more to go, you said?
Yeah.
That's it. To get
I'm
to
going to
1,000.
get you. Don't worry. You'll be at 1,000 by the time this is over.
Joe, you're welcome to show up anytime and hang out. As soon as you get your Kickstarter going, you're more than welcome to come on and show it off because I want to show it off.
And I am honored, Joe, the moment it does.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. This was a lot of fun, guys.
Thank you.
Next time, you gotta bring her with you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right. Have a good night, bro.
Bye.
Take care, Joe.
Later.
All right. Where are we? Oh yes, of course. If you guys want to check out, We Suck at Comics because we suck at comics, and I have my first published piece coming out in We Suck at Comics. So if you want to see a written Ralph piece.
Yes, I do.
Before I do anything with it, because you know it's going to take me forever. Because I'm lazy.
Send your hair.
No, maybe I'm not lazy. It's just that I'd rather write than publish. But these guys are helping me out. They're making me publish, and you also have a beautiful Shadow Rabbit piece attached to it. So there's the incentive. You got a written Writ Ralph piece and a Shadow Rabbit piece attached. So go check it out.
Okay.
We are at Notify right now. Sign up to get notified, or notified to get signed up, or the free stuff where you go and you help people out. And the more followers we have, the better it is to start. Right now we are 81. Come on, get us to 100.
Yes, let's do it.
Oh yeah, I'm joining that too. Send me it all. It's all everything's in the video, all the links. So no excuses, people.
That's exactly what I've been doing, folks. I've been putting all these things in the video.
Yes.
And I don't want to hear, I'm lazy, Ralph.
No excuses. Absolutely.
Exactly. So all the links in the video. Go check it out. There we go. The other thing I wanted to show you guys, because this is a beautiful game, is this beautiful game right here, which is on what's the platform again? It is GameFound. And our pal who was here on Monday has put this beautiful game together, and this thing is just amazing, folks. Look at all this stuff.
Oh wow.
Dudes, man. You guys got to jump on top of this. This is a beautiful game. And he's really put a lot of passion into it. Help him out. He's trying to get to 75,000, which you guys know is not a lot for a game.
Right.
No, not at
all. And he's almost at 20,000 right now. So come on, let's get him to 20,000. Give him his first hurdle. I'm telling you, folks, look at this stuff. Look at this beautiful stuff.
Yeah, it looks nice.
It does. Very well thought out.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm telling you, I'm glad I got all these friends because I want to make a symbiotic fighting game one day. I already got it all worked out.
Yeah, if you hit up our friend here, Drew. Yeah, if you hit Drew up, he can probably help you out with all that.
It's gonna be easy 16-bit PvP. That's come on, fighting game. We're making a Street Fighter style game. I'm telling you, it's gonna be dope.
And I want to make it just like that. We are at Urban Action Showcase on Saturday. We will be hanging out, getting all actiony, doing some kung fu and martial arts, just like when I was a kid, and not knowing what the hell I'm doing.
Honestly, the Warriors are going to be there. All right.
Oh yeah, the Warriors are going to be there. Sadly enough, we lost Coach Cheesh recently.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be.
I forgot to tell you guys, I'm from Coney Island.
Oh, there you go.
It all comes together,
I hear you, man.
The real Warriors, man.
If you all remember, our pals from Justice for Hire were here on Monday, and this app is fantastic. If you want to get creative, if you want to have fun, join Justice for Hire. Be the hero that you want to be. It's like a vigilante app. It's a vigilante Uber app. But folks, don't be a real vigilante. This is all creative stuff that you can become the hero, film some stuff up, and be part of this universe. We're going to be filming with them on Saturday at Urban Action Showcase at 12 o'clock. So if you're there at 12 o'clock on Saturday, you can be part of the massive video they're going to do.
Cool.
Nice.
All right.
Excellent.
Mr. Nat, Mr. Jordan, is there anything else I need to remember?
Man, I mean, I know I don't have the link on my net right now, but I know Garrett's bringing Warcorn back.
Jordan?
Yeah. What?
I think that's lost.
Oh,
my audio not coming through?
No, Nat's
go through the same glitch.
I don't know.
All right, Ralph. This is your side then.
Oh no, this is totally you, brother.
No, both of us just lost all audio.
Oh no, Jordan was still talking. We lost you completely.
Right.
Crazy.
Jordan was talking about Garrett, and then you said, "Hey, Jordan," and then
Oh man.
I tell you, Ralph, great night, man. A lot of great stories, a lot of great creators here, man.
Always a lot of fun, especially when all the guys show up. So Jordan, I know Garrett has a new book coming out soon. Folks, go check out Garrett's stuff. Garrett is
Common America's still going on that I talked about the last time.
Hypergeist, I think, is still going on.
Hypergeist is going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of Kickstarters, folks.
Man,
a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Now, are those in the links, Ralph? Because I'm going to say it. Yeah, I can't find
right now. Those, you guys are gonna have to get creative and go find those.
Right there, you go. We have to do some something like that. Yeah.
But if you follow the Bitten Apple, if you go to the Instagram, if you go to the Facebook page, if you go to the YouTube channel, you will see all this stuff that we're talking about, especially because Jordan is constantly posting this stuff up there.
Yeah.
I'm constantly posting this stuff up
Jordan, you posted Hypergeist?
No.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's all up there, huh?
I posted
it's all up there, huh?
I posted Hypergeist because I love those guys. AZ is a blast.
AZ, is he working on this one?
Oh, right.
AZ's always working on Hypergeist.
Shoot. Hocus Hocus is going on too.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
How can you forget about our beautiful bunny?
It's been a minute, man.
It really has.
They haven't done that book in a minute, it feels like.
Oh, they have. They took a little break from it.
No, I know.
And they were doing our bunny friend for a while instead of doing Hocus Hocus. Horace. They were doing Horace for a while, and now they're doing Hocus Hocus. So go check it out. It's a great book.
I feel like there's a big one that we're forgetting.
There's always a great big one we're forgetting. All right, folks, you're gonna have to figure it out yourself. Go do the research. That's what it's called, writing. We do research. So go over there and go do it. Right now, it is almost 2 hours, so we are signing off, folks.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna press that button, and where it stops.
Where it stops, no one knows.